Hello friends and welcome to this session for GATE and ESC Electrical Engineering. My friend, this session is going to be one of the most awesome session and you are going to really learn something very new and something that will help you in the exam. In the exam for GATE, may it be 2021 or it may be 2022. Now, before we start the lecture, my friend, let me introduce you myself. My name is Ankit Goyal. I got AIR 1 in GATE 2014 and GATE 2018. And my friend, I was also awarded the President of India Gold Medal by the President himself in the year 2013 when I graduated from IIT Indore. Presently, I am working as a director at an academy for GATE department, and that is why constantly I am able to bring new and more initiatives for you. Because an academy is not an institute. An academy is not a coaching. An academy is more of a revolution. An academy is more of a feeling. An academy has everything right that is wrong with every other coaching institute in the country. The name an academy, my friend, has been comprised of two words, un and academy. That means it has everything that is not there in an academy. So an academy cares about the student in the best way possible. It cares about the student most than or more than any other person can. All the initiatives are centered on the student. That is, they are always working towards the student welfare. And that is why, my friend, you are watching this course on power system. That is why, my friend, you are watching this course on power system free of cost on our YouTube channel. So my friend, if you are visiting this channel for the first time, make sure that you have subscribed, because we have electrical machine, power electronics, power system, communication system, EMT, EDC, network, signal, control, digital, everything is here on this channel, that too free of cost, my friend. But what has Unacademy done? Unacademy has brought a revolution in the country where they are providing the most affordable education, and that too free of that too at the most affordable price as well as free of cost on YouTube. So my friend, if you want to be a part of the revolution that Unacademy has created by means of the courses that are running on Unacademy, where they are bringing you the best ever educators of the country on a single platform. That is, you, my friend, can be able to learn from India's top educator at the cheapest or at the most affordable prices possible. At the most affordable prices possible. Now, my friend, I'm talking to you. You can dare to dream. You can dare to enter a PSU. You can dare to dream about MTech from an IIT. Why? Because Unacademy has made it possible. Unacademy has done everything that is required to get the best rank in GATE examination. So my friend, if you want to join Unacademy, make sure that you use the code Ankit ESE, because the door to Unacademy opens with this code, and this directly makes me your mentor so that I can guide you at each and every step regarding your GATE preparation. And not only this, you will also get 10% discount on your subscription. Now, what does Unacademy bring for you? Not only the live classes. The live classes are the best part of Unacademy, where you can interact with the educator, ask your doubt, and make sure that you understand each and every concept and then only exit the class. But other than that, you get dedicated doubt session, where you can post a pic of a question and ask any doubt, any number of doubts. Then you have weekly quizzes. Every Sunday we test how much you have understood. Then there are daily practice paper which we provide you for practice. Then there are practice questions from Unacademy. Then there are test series from Unacademy. Then there is crash course where we will boost your rank in the last few months. There is rank improvement batch for the students who have already done well in the GATE examination. Now, my friend, all of this just with one subscription fees, where you don't have to pay anything again and again or anything extra. That is the magic of Unacademy. Just join Unacademy without thinking too much.
Hi guys, in this unit we will be covering fault analysis. That is, we will be analyzing the power system under faulty condition. Now, faulty condition may be due to a lightning stroke which may strike a transmission line, there may be insulation failure. If insulation fails, then the line will be connected to ground via the tower. That will cause current to flow into the ground. That is also a faulty condition because no current must flow into the ground from the transmission line. Or due to short circuiting. These sort of conditions will lead to the faulty operation of a power system. Now, why do I want to analyze these conditions is because somehow if faulty conditions comes in a power system, then I must have analyzed it beforehand so that when the condition comes, my system must be prepared to tackle the fault. That is, the protection system should be present in a power system which should be able to deal with such faulty conditions. That is why we want to analyze the faulty conditions in a power system. Okay. So fault analysis is done only for design of protection system. Now, for the purpose of fault analysis, first we must have an understanding of how we represent the power system in terms of its equivalent circuit, so that whenever there is a faulty condition, I can analyze that network and determine what will be the voltages and currents under faulty conditions. So, power systems is usually represented using a single line diagram. Single line diagram means all the components that are present in a power system are represented in a single line or are represented in a linear manner. Now, what is the advantage is it is more readable. How it is? Because if we were to replace each component by its equivalent circuit, then it will become very tacky. Now, if you see here, there is only one transmission line. Okay, but in a practical power system, there will be hundreds of transmission line. So, hundreds of transformers and hundreds of generator. So, it will be very difficult to represent each component with its equivalent circuit because then the end user may not be able to read the whole schematic. But if you represent in this manner, here G represents a generator. This is my transformer. So, one transformer will be step up because we need high voltage for transmission. Other will be step down because load will be supplied at a lower voltage, and in between there will be a transmission line. So, in this manner, I can easily understand the topology of the power system. It is called as a single line diagram. Now, let us look at the equivalent circuit of each and every component that is commonly occurring in our power system, so as to understand how does the equivalent circuit of my power system looks like. So, the first component is my generator. In synchronous generator, how we represent it? We represent it using a EMF source EF angle delta, then armature resistance and synchronous reactance. So, here by default I am assuming that it is a cylindrical rotor synchronous generator. Later I will tell you the reason why I am neglecting the salient pole and only using the cylindrical. Okay. So, this can also be represented if RA is neglected, something like this. The reason for neglecting RA is that whenever the fault will occur, then what will happen? High current will be encountered, and that high current will be reduced due to the presence of armature resistance. But we always want to do the worst case analysis, that is, we want to analyze the highest fault current. So, we will have to take the impedances as minimum, or we have to neglect everything that will make the system stable. That is why we are neglecting the armature resistance. So, this will be the equivalent circuit of the synchronous generator. Similarly, for the case of motor, the circuit can be represented as this will be J-axis, EF angle minus delta, and this will be VT angle 0. So, this will be the equivalent circuit of generator and the motor. Okay, usually we neglect the resistances in both type of synchronous machine. The next component that we connect in the power system is either a step up or a step down transformer. Now transformer has a turns ratio V2 by V1 will be equal to N2 by N1, we call it as K. Now usually if we neglect the shunt parameters, why I am neglecting shunt parameters? Because no load current in a transformer is much less as compared to full load current or the fault current. Fault current is even 10 to 20 times the full load current. So no load current is negligible as compared to that. Hence we can neglect the shunt branch parameters or the no load current. So then we will have only the series impedances on primary as well as secondary. Now we know in a transformer we can refer the impedance onto one side. So if we refer the impedance onto primary, then it is called as Z01. The circuit will be something like this. Z01 will be equal to Z1 plus Z2 into N1 by N2 whole square. That is Z1 plus Z2 by K square. Similarly, we can form the circuit referred to the secondary. At the secondary side, this will be Z02. Now, what is the value of Z02? Z02 is Z2 plus Z1 into N2 by N1 whole square. This we have covered in electrical machines, that we have to multiply by the turns ratio square to transform the impedance, that is Z2 plus Z1 into K square. So that will be the equivalent circuit of a transformer. So remember, here we are neglecting the shunt branches because the impedance or the no load current is negligible as compared to your full load current and the fault current. So we have to neglect the no load parameters. In case of transmission line, we saw three models. One was short transmission line, in which we considered only the series impedance Z. Then one was a medium transmission line, in which we looked at four models, that was receiving end C model, sending end C model, T model and pi model. And the most famous is pi model, in which we represented like this: Z y by 2 y by 2. And the last one was long transmission line, where we use distributed model. Now here we will either consider this short transmission line approximation or the pi model, but not the distributed model, because though the distributed model is most accurate, but the problem is that analysis will be very complicated, as in a practical power system we will not have a single transmission line, but we will have hundreds of transmission line. So those equations will be complicated to analyze, and this model is the most common, which is a short transmission line. So in most cases you will see that the transmission line will be represented just as a series impedance. So remember this, transmission line is mostly modeled as a series impedance and nothing else. And at last, the load in the power system is represented as resistance in series with reactance. Why only reactance? Because most common occurring loads are lagging power factor loads, RL and XL, that is the load resistance and the load reactance. Okay, and this will be neglected during fault analysis. Now why do we neglect the load impedance? Because suppose a short circuiting comes in a power system. Now as we know that the current will try to take the path of minimum resistance or the minimum impedance, so it will try to go into the ground via the short circuit. So if it goes into the ground, then the current going into the load will be very low. Okay, so that is why we can neglect the load on the assumption that all the current flows into the fault and none of the current goes into the load. On this assumption, I can neglect the load when I am doing the fault analysis. Now let us combine these models and try to form the equivalent circuit for the single line diagram that we saw earlier. So generator will be modeled as a reactance in series with EMF, let us say EG. Then there will be primary impedance, let me say Z01. I have referred the entire circuit to primary. This is transformer secondary. This will be Z line. Okay. Then Z01 dash. This is the primary side impedance of T2, or the impedance referred to primary for T2. Then this will be the secondary winding, and here we will have the load. Now if you see here, if we want to analyze this circuit using the mesh analysis, we have to form 3 KVL loops, I1, I2 and I3. So if you see, this is all happening because this transformer has divided the circuit into, or the network into, multiple sections. And this is the case when we only have a single transmission line. So try to imagine what will be the case when we will have a practical power system network which will have hundreds of transmission line. Then the effort involved will be unimaginable. Okay, so there will be so many equations that you will not be able to solve those equations. That means we need a way out by which we can simplify the analysis of the power system. We need something or some method which can reduce the effort involved, or which can reduce the number of loop equations that we have to form to simplify the network. That method is called as your per unit system. So per unit system we covered earlier. So I am just revising the basic concepts. Here I told you that we assume two base quantities. One is your voltage base, other is your power base. Then in three phase, current base was S base by root 3 V base, because this base voltage was line to line voltage. Then we saw Z base in star connection was V base square by S base, whereas Z base in delta was 3V base square by S base. Okay, and we saw whenever we want to change the base from a old value to new value, we multiply it by old voltage base by new voltage base whole square, new power base divided by old power base. So these all expressions we saw in the first unit. Now we will be making use of these expressions when we will be simplifying the networks or representing the power system in terms of per unit. But let us first see what happens to the equivalent circuit of the transformer when we enter the per unit system. Okay, so here the first problem with transformer is that the transformer rating will be something like this, 33 kV by 11 kV. Then how to assume the base voltage, because here there are two rated voltage, one on the primary, other on the secondary. So what we will be doing is separate base for primary and secondary. But we know one thing for sure is that transformer cannot generate power, so power remains same on secondary and the primary side. So that means V1 I1 will remain same as V2 I2, which means I1 by I2 will be equal to V2 by V1, which will be equal to K. S1 should be equal to S2. So power base will be assumed as the same value on both primary and the secondary, but your voltage base will be different. That will be dependent on the turns ratio between the primary and the secondary side. Now, since voltage base is different and power base is same, that means the base impedance will also be different. So let me say V1 is the V base primary, I1 is the I base primary. V2 is the V base secondary, I2 is the I base secondary. Now if we want to calculate Z base primary, it will be V1 by I1, whereas Z base secondary will be V2 by I2. Now V2 is equal to KV1, whereas I2 is equal to I1 by K. So it is equal to K square V1 by I1 or K square Z base primary. Let me call it as Z1. So Z2 will be K square Z1. So that means base impedances are also related by the turns ratio square. Now we saw that the impedance on the primary equivalent impedance was Z1. Equivalent impedance was Z1 plus Z2 by K square. Now to convert it into PU, we will divide it by the base, and that base impedance will be taken at the primary. So Z1 plus Z2 by K square. Primary base impedance is, let us say, Z primary. So to avoid confusion, let me represent it by Z primary and Z2 by Z secondary. Okay. So this is your ZB. So this will be Z01 PU. The impedance referred to secondary was Z02 ohm was Z2 plus Z1 into K square. So Z02 in PU will be, this shall be divided by the base impedance on the secondary side because the impedance is referred to secondary. So that will be Z2 plus Z1 K square divided by ZP K square. So this will be Z2 by K square plus Z1 by ZP, which is equal to Z01 PU. So from here we can see, though Z01 ohm is not equal to Z02 ohm, but Z01 PU is equal to Z02 PU. So the per unit impedances referred to primary as well as secondary is same. But remember, this is Z01 and Z02. Still Z1 PU will not be equal to Z2 PU. Okay. So this is the impedances referred to primary and secondary. This is the primary impedance. This is the secondary impedance. This is the overall impedance referred to primary, overall impedance referred to secondary. So overall impedances are same on primary and secondary, but individual impedances are different on primary and the secondary winding. Okay. So when we are transforming the per unit impedance from primary to secondary, that will remain same. There is no concept of the turns ratio. Similarly, we assume the voltage base at primary as V1 and voltage base at secondary as V2, which is equal to KV1. Now suppose some voltage is given at primary as V and the voltage at secondary will be KV. So in PU it will be V by V1. In PU it will be K by KV1. That is V by V1. So per unit voltage is same on primary and the secondary. Per unit impedance is same on primary and secondary. Per unit voltage is same. MVA is same. So per unit current will also be same. So each per unit quantity remains the same on primary and the secondary winding of the transformer. That does not change when we go from primary to secondary or from secondary to primary. So what happens is that if these quantities remain same, then the turns ratio does not matter anymore. So we can remove the turns ratio of the transformer. So if we remove the turns ratio, then what will happen? There will be only impedance of the transformer. That is, it will be represented just as an impedance, which is equal to Z01 PU, or you can say Z02 pu. There will be no turns ratio. So if we draw the previous circuit in per unit, there will be generator, reactance, then transformer will be represented as an impedance, then transmission line impedance, then second transformer, let us say Z01, Z01 dash, ZTL, then there will be load. So now if you see, there is only one loop equation needed for simplifying the circuit. Okay, this is RL XL. So if we represent the power system network in per unit, the analysis is very simplified because the number of mesh equation or the number of loop equations required are reduced. Okay, as the transformer turns vanishes, the number of equations will be reduced. Now let us see a problem how to analyze the power system in per unit or how to draw the per unit equivalent circuit. So here we have been asked to draw the reactance diagram of the system whose single line diagram is given. Various ratings of the machines are given: generator 1, generator 2, generator 3, T1, T2 and transmission line. Now the first step that you must do is divide the power system into different sections based on transformer. So the circuit is shown here. Divide the power system into different sections. How? Like this. This will be section 1, this will be section 2, this will be section number 3. So I have divided the power system into 3 sections based on transformer winding. Now we must choose a base in any of these sections. So how to choose a base? If the base is given, it is fine. Otherwise, you have to choose a base for yourself. So let me choose the base as 30 MVA and 11 kV. That too in the section of generator G1. Now G1 lies in which section? G1 lies in first section. So here base is 30 MVA 11 kV. Now as we know that the transformer does not change the power base, the power on both sides of the transformers remain same. So base MVA in section 2 will be 30 MVA and in section 3 also it will be 30 MVA. But transformer does change the voltage, so we have to transform the voltage to find the voltage in section 2 and section 3. So remember, only one section out of the 3 sections is independent. You have to assume a value for that and then the rest of the values should be calculated based on the turns ratio of the transformer. Now first transformer is 11 by 33 kilovolt. So since the primary voltage is 11, secondary will be 33 by 11 into 11, 33 kV. Now secondary voltage of T1 becomes the primary voltage of T2. So the T2 secondary voltage is, rating of T2 is 33 by 11. So T2 secondary voltage will be 11 by 33 into primary. Primary voltage is 33. So it will be 11 kV. So now I have got the base for all the 3 sections: 30 MVA 11 kV, 30 MVA 33 kV, 30 MVA 11 kV. Now the next step is to calculate the per unit impedances on the bases in different section. So let me start with generator G1. G1 impedance is given to be 1.6 ohm and G1 is lying in the section 1 where the base is 30 MVA 11 kV. So 1.6 divided by base impedance. Now base impedance is V base square by S base. V base square is 11 square by 30. Z base is V base square by S base. So it will come out to be 0.3967 pu. Okay. So whatever the base you are choosing, that will depend on in which section is the device lying. Next for generator 2 it is 1.2 ohm. Generator 2 is lying in which section? It is lying in section number 3. So 1.2 divided by, in section 3 base is 11 kV 30 MVA. 11 square by 30. So it will be how much? 0.2975 pu. Similarly, generator 3, it also lies in the section number 3. So its actual its actual impedance is 0.56, base is 11 square by 30. So it will be 0.1388 pu. So this is the per unit impedance of the three generators. Now I need to calculate the per unit impedance of transformers and the transmission line. Now in case of transformer T1, impedance is given as 15.2 ohm on high tension side. High tension means high voltage. Now which side is high voltage for transformer T1? Secondary side is having high voltage. So T1 is 15.2. So base must be taken on the secondary of 1. The secondary of 1 is actually section number 2. Base is 30 by 33. Okay. So we have to take 33 square by 30, which will come out to be 0.4187 pu. For transformer T2, impedance is same 15.2 ohm on high tension side. Now high tension side for second transformer is primary, because the primary voltage is 33. It is higher than the secondary voltage, so it is the high tension side. 33 square by 30, it will yield the same result, 0.4187 pu. Last is my transmission line, 20.5 ohm. Transmission line is lying in section number 2. So it will be simply 20.5 divided by 33 square by 30. So how much will this come out to be? It will be 0.5647 pu. So this way you have to calculate the per unit impedance on suitable base for each and every component in the power system. Then you must interconnect these components to attain the per unit diagram. Like here, this is my generator G1, its per unit reactance. Then this is the per unit reactance of T1. This is your transmission line. This is your T2. This is my G2. This is your G3. Okay. So here we have represented all the components and interconnected them in the base, series and parallel based on the topology given in the problem. Okay. So these are the simple steps that you have to follow to represent the power system in PU. Let us look at another variation of this problem. Here, ratings of different components are given to me, but all the impedances that are already given to me are in per unit. Now, whenever the impedance is given in per unit, it means it is given on its own base. Okay. Now, if it is given in its own base, as I told you earlier, we have to choose a base for the entire power system. So, we will need to transform these impedances to that universal base to derive the equivalent circuit. So, let us first see the circuit. We will divide it into sections based on transformer. This is section number 1, 2 and section number 3. Now, the system base is given as 100 MVA and voltage at G1 is 2400. So, base will be 100 MVA in section 1. Voltage base will be 2400 volt. Now, other bases will be determined based on section number 1. So, power base remains same. So, it will be 100 MVA for all the 3 sections. Now, voltage base will be determined based on the turns ratio. For transformer T1, the voltage transformation ratio is 2400 by 9600. So, secondary voltage will be 9600 by 2400 into 2400, which is 9600 volt. The transformation ratio for T2 is 10 by 5 kV. So it will be 5 by 10. Primary voltage is 96 because the secondary voltage of T1 will be primary voltage of T2. So it is 4800 volt. So now if you see, the base voltage can be different from the rated because the rated secondary voltage of T2 is 5 kilovolt, whereas here the base is 4800 volt. So do not directly go on assuming the rated voltage as the base voltage, it can be different. Now we have bases for all the sections. Let us calculate the PU impedance of all the elements. Now to calculate PU impedance, we have to change the base. So let us first change the base for G1. Z1 or Z, it will be old impedance, that is 0.2 into V old by V new. Given rated voltage is 24, that will be V old. New is the assumed base, which is 2400 volt. Okay, so rating is taken as old base and the assumed base is taken as new base into S new. S new is 100 MVA, given base is 10. 100 by 10. So this will be 2 PU. Similarly, generator G2, it is also lying in section number 1. So base will be 100 MVA, 2400 volt. So it will be 0.2 into given voltage is 2400, assumed is also 2400. Then given base is 20 kVA, assumed is 100. So this will be 1 PU. Then for the case of transformer T1, we have been given the per unit impedance as, in T1 it is 0.1 PU. Now since this impedance is in PU, we do not need to know the side. Okay, because whenever the impedance is in PU, it is same on primary and the secondary. But remember, when you are transforming the impedance, take the new and the old base on the same side. So let us choose the bases old as well as new on the primary. This is I am just assuming, so let us take it at primary. So primary old voltage is 2400. New voltage, that is assumed base, is also 2400. Okay. So old is 2400, new is 2400 on primary of T1. Now MVA base chosen is 100 MVA, given it is 100 kVA, it is 40 kVA. So it will be 0.25 PU. For transformer T2 it is 0.1 PU. Now you have to decide where you will take the base, on primary or on the secondary. So let us take on secondary. So here on the secondary the rated voltage is 5 kV. So old base is 5000. Sorry, this base voltage was 4800. And the assumed base is 4800. New MVA is 100, old is 80. This comes out to be 0.136 PU. Then for the case of transmission line, here the impedance given is in ohms. So we do not need to change the base. This is actual value. We will divide it by the base impedance of section number 2. Section number 2 has the base impedance 9600 square by 100 kVA. So this will come out to be 0.054 plus J 0.217 PU. And the last component that remains is motor. For motor, the impedance given is 0.2 PU and the voltage is 4 kV. But the voltage here is on the motor side 4800. So 0.2 into old voltage is 4000, assumed is 4800. What about the MVA base or the KVA base? Given for the motor is 25 kVA, assumed is 100. So change it as kVA. 100 kVA. So new is 100, old is 25. So how much will this come out to be? It will be 0.2 into 4000 square divided by 4800 square into 4. So it will be 0.55 pu. Now we have to interconnect these components to realize the entire system. So G1 and G2 were connected in parallel. So let me connect them in parallel. Impedance of G1 is 2 pu. For G2 it is 1 pu. So it will be 2, 1. Okay. For then there was transformer T1. T1 has the impedance 0.25 pu. J 0.25. Here also you can place J2, J1. Then transmission line. Transmission line has a real as well as imaginary part. 0.054 J 0.217. Transformer T2 J 0.136. Okay. Then the last component is your motor. J 0.55, and this will be the EMF of motor. This will be generator EMF 1, 2. So that will be the per unit network for the power system. So that is how you construct the per unit network for any power system network. So let us summarize what we learned in this lecture. We first saw single line diagram. Okay, then we saw equivalent circuit of different components that are connected in a power system. Then we saw that there were large number of loop equations, that is why we cannot use such a equivalent circuit. So we revisited our per unit system. Then we saw how transformer is represented in pu. It is represented just by a series impedance. Then we saw how per unit reactance diagram can be drawn for any power system network. So this is the foundation stone for the fault analysis, because on this only we will build our fault analysis of different power systems. Okay, so this you must perfect it. You must design different power system and then try to design their per unit reactance diagram. If you do it for one or two problems that have been designed by you, it is sufficient, not anything more than that. Okay, in the next lecture we will see a mathematical concept on how to analyze the unbalanced system in terms of balanced components. That we will see in the next lecture.
So my friend, if you want to join an academy, if you like the lecture, if you like the content that you have just watched, and you have decided that an academy is the right place for you, and you want to learn with me, you want to learn from me, then don't hesitate, because that is where we are conducting free classes every day that will boost your GATE rank. So if you decide to take subscription, click on GATE and ESE, click on get subscription. After this, you can choose the plan that you want to opt for. The final year and dropper can take 1 year plan. Second and the third year can take 2 year plan. But don't forget to use the code Ankit ESE. This will give you 10% off, as well as it will bring you under my guidance. And as you can see, the prices are really affordable, my friend. It is much less than any other institute can offer you. And that is why I keep repeating, an academy is not an academy. It is a revolution. It is a feeling. You can make the payment by credit, debit card, EMI, net banking. Also, EMI is available on debit card, but for HDFC debit card and Bajaj Finserv debit card. So if you are from a weak financial background, you can pay the amount in installments, but only use the code Ankit ESE. And my friend, these are some videos where I have told how to study, how to get the best rank in GATE, and these videos will really help you in cracking GATE. So make sure that you watch each and every one of them. And my friend, these are our other channels, like for mechanical we have, for civil also we have, for computer science we have for SSC, JEE, all branches, electrical, mechanical, civil. And on this channel we have the previous year question. previous year question video solution, that too free of cost. And many more channels will be coming very soon for you guys. So be a part of our YouTube family and you can take the benefit of all the free content that we are bringing.